Creamy and slightly tangy whipped feta. It's great as a topping, as a dip, or a spread over garlic crostini topped with delicious, juicy roasted tomatoes. Hi, welcome to What to Cook Next with Hani. In this episode, we're going to make whipped feta appetizer. So let's get started. I'm using a block of feta, breaking it into smaller chunks. If you have a feta that is already cubed and it's sitting in a pool of liquid, make sure that you drain it before using it. You're also going to need plain Greek yogurt. If you don't have Greek yogurt, you can use any plain yogurt, skyr or sour cream. I'm also adding good quality olive oil, and I'm also going to add some ground black pepper. As you can see, I'm skipping the salt. This is because feta, as you guys know, it's naturally quite salty, so I don't think we need additional salt. And then you're going to blend away for about 3 to 4 minutes. You can use a stick blender, or you can use a small chopper or food processor. Just blend until it's very well combined and super smooth. I like to bring this appetizer to dinner parties or gatherings. It's such a crowd pleaser, and you can use a variety of different toppings. Once it's all blended together and creamy, you can store it in a refrigerator for up to 2 to 3 days. Now let's have a look at different toppings you can use. We're going to be making roasted tomatoes, but you can also use roasted strawberries and different vegetables, and also nuts, honey, and herbs. Let's prepare marinade for the tomatoes. I'm using olive oil, balsamic vinegar, a little bit of black pepper, touch of salt, and since we are using tomatoes, I also like to add dry basil and dry oregano. By all means, use fresh basil and oregano if you have it. I'm using cherry tomatoes. But if you have larger tomatoes, you can just slice them into wedges, and that works really well. This is going to take about 25 to 30 minutes in the oven. So you want to preheat your oven to 375 degrees of Fahrenheit, which is about 190 degrees of Celsius. And you want to roast the tomatoes until they are super soft, caramelized, and juicy. We're not making dried tomatoes. However, this recipe will be great with dried tomatoes too. So if you have those, you can chop them up and add them to your whipped feta. Oh, so good. I wish you could smell it. Now let's prepare garlic crostini. These are also easy to prepare. You want to use, we can basically use any kind of bread. I'm using this is ciabatta, and you want to brush each side with a little bit of olive oil, and we're going to toast these in the oven. I have a grill setting, or you can use broil setting, and you want to toast each side for about 1 to 2 minutes, depends on the setting, until the bread is nicely brown and caramelized. Now, once you have the bread ready, if you like garlic, because these are garlic crostini, we're going to use garlic, and we're going to use a clove of garlic, cut it in half, and then rub the garlic onto the bread. Oh, it's so good. But if you prefer non-garlic bread, just don't use garlic. It's perfectly fine. We love garlic here so much, so I'm adding garlic. Now let's put everything together. These are my other toppings: nuts, honey, olive oil, chives. As far as the nuts go, I really like to use either pecans or walnuts, but you're more than welcome to experiment with different nuts. You can also toast these in a pan or in the oven if you'd like, but let them cool before adding them to the feta. And then we can chop up the chives. If you don't have chives, I think dill might be a good substitute, or even parsley. And for some of you also, if you like cilantro, you can try and use cilantro if you like cilantro. So let's put the toppings on there. So a little bit of olive oil. I like to add honey because honey, it kind of mellows down the assertiveness of feta, and it's such a nice taste. It really does add such a nice taste. It's lovely. And then we can add the nuts and also chives that we prepared earlier. I personally like to pair whipped feta appetizer with crostini, and you can prepare crostini ahead of time, I'd say 2 to 3 hours before the party, or you can have your guests assemble their own crostini at the party, and you could serve several toppings to go with the whipped feta. And you can also serve crackers and other veggies that they can dip in the feta. They can use it as a spread or as a dip. So let's assemble crostini. You want to spread a nice thick layer of creamy, tangy whipped feta over garlic crostini, and then top it with roasted tomatoes. These roasted tomatoes and also the bread are at room temperature, as should be whipped feta. If you'd like to get the full recipe, you can find it on my blog. Link is in the description box under the video. And if you are new to What to Cook Next, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button so you don't miss any new uploads. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.